I had a very cool experience yesterday that like had me realize just how similar movement patterns are and how we really in cueing things from the hips, we've really messed things up. It's so much easier at the foot or at the hand. They start that chain of expression that way. Okay, so where we're going to use our dowel is we're going to put it on the top of our foot, and we're putting it roughly here. So at this proximal end of the metatarsals, this proximal end of the metatarsals. So you'll just place that stick on where you perceive kind of that proximal end of your metatarsals are. Okay, and then the point is you're lifting up your foot from that place. From that place. So people might think, it might look like, oh, the ankle is dorsiflexed, but I'm not lifting up the toes. You're not going to see this tibialis anterior stuff at the front pop on. It's not creating dorsiflexion. It's actually, so just hold the stick there and you want to lift your foot up from that place. Get the feel of that. And you'll feel how as you lift up from that place, this isn't a hip flexor. Like you're not going to feel your hip flexor kick on as you lift up from there because it just folds the leg into you. Versus if I think of lifting the leg up from the knee and I don't do anything in the foot, feel what that puts into your system. Okay? So this sense of lifting up from there. So now I'm going to have this sense of lifting up from there, but I'm going to keep my foot on the ground. The other leg's going to come off. So I'm still folding into myself from that point on my foot.
That ever feel more stable?
Yes.
Holy crap.
So it isn't us pushing into the ground. Again. Get that more balance is us actually initiating movement from a place that has the system really be able to stabilize and organize and express. Okay, so your other foot, you're going to put the stick on just to give yourself that kind of tactile, and then lifting the, and now we already know that this other leg, we still want to be using that part of our foot as we lift this foot up, right?
It's hard for me to feel the lifting of the arch in my left leg.
It isn't a lifting of the arch.
Well,
It's your initiating from that point. Picture the bones. This end of the metatarsals, the cuboid, that moves up. And can you see that moving up, or a sense of moving up from there, pitches this end of the metatarsals into the ground. But that's different than if I said push down through the transverse arch.
yeah, it's I can see the brain has been doing a different path.
Yes.
To engage, but and when I just put my broom handle there and not think about doing anything and lifting my right foot, I can feel it engage.
Yeah.
But I have to be like, and it felt weird at first because that's not what I've been doing.
Yeah. Okay, so then you're going to take your brick and put your heel on it. The ball of the foot is not on the floor. Okay, so your heel is on it. And just kind of stomp that heel around. Again, a little lift from the top of the foot and then drop it back onto the brick. Letting pressure come into that heel in some different aspects. So it's not always just in the middle, kind of feeling. Let the front of the foot and the top of the foot kind of let you get pressure into different parts of that heel. Okay, then we're going to use that sense of lifting up from the top of that foot and stand on that heel. Okay, now that heel, this next time we stand on it, so the next time we stand on it, you're going to, as soon as you get weight into that, you're going to take this heel and tip it towards the ball of the foot. So it's not a big movement, but have a feeling of it, the back of the heel either moving away from the knee, you could think of it as, or the underside front of the heel moving towards the ball of the foot, but the heel is pitching forward, down and forward.
When I do that, I don't have that pain on the inside of my thigh.
Okay, when you do that, we also should feel the knee bend. There's a sense that the knee wants to bend with that, moving the heel away from the back of the knee. Okay, now this time take the back of the heel and move it towards the back of the knee as you stand off on that. And you'll feel how that anchors that leg. It doesn't have the same feel of the knee wanting to bend.
No.
Okay? So, and it's not a big movement. It's literally like millimeters of pressure change on that fatty pad of the heel. Yeah? So now couple the top of the foot action with heel up action and feel the like steadiness through that leg. So now come off the brick and onto the floor, and we're still doing those actions. And then go from heel up, heel forward. Heel up, heel forward, down and forward. Move it up towards the back of the knee, away from the back of the knee. Towards the knee as the foot hits the ground, away. Well, it's kind of away as it hits the ground. That'll fold you up and make space for that other leg. Okay, so you can work with those kind of actions as you go for your walks this week. Okay, let's come on to that other heel. Again, that action from top of the foot, just pressurizing that heel. And then play with, push the heel away from the back of the knee and feel how that wants the knee to bend. Starts to set up that knee bending. And then heel towards the back of the knee, like holds the leg up. So now, how are we gonna use that? And some of you might use one of these instructions. Others might find you layer these. Okay? So to squat down now, I want you to think of the top of the foot action we were doing. That pulls you down into your squat. Top of the feet lift up. That pulls you down into your squat. You could layer onto that when you drop down. Heel comes away from the knee. Heel moves away from the knee. Heel moves away from the knee. To stand back up, heel moves towards the back of the knee. But now we're sequencing stuff from the ground up. It's not about the hips. The hips just take care of themselves if we address the feet. Okay, so our squats today, that's what we're going to pattern. Okay, make sense? So we're always going to be that action from the top of the foot. Move the back of the heel away from the knee and then towards the knee. Away from the knee, towards the knee. If that heel was a little cog, right, you're going to move it away from the back of the knee, towards, away, towards. All right, so we got our squat. Where you can load that squat up, but you could also use it as I'm going to sit in the chair. I'm going to lift the top of my feet. Heel moves away from the back of the knee to bring me down. Lift from the top of the feet. Heel moves towards the back of the knee to bring me up. Boom, 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 boom.
It's way easier.
Easy. Easy. So now try to stand up by pushing into the ground.
Yeah, or pushing with your arms. All the...
Okay? It's easy. We make it hard because we actually don't take the time to figure out the instructions to make it easy. But we've made simple machines to make hard work easy. That's how they built the pyramids. No human could ever be strong enough to build the pyramids without simple machines. We're just a series of simple machines. Just little levers. Just little levers. If we figure out how to manipulate those levers, it's easy. Yes? So you can load it up, you can use the chair and do it that way, right? We could go single leg. So a squat pattern is going to be one of our patterns. However you want to work it, okay? So stand to sit, sit to stands, or a squat. The actions of what we do are going to be the same in the feet, however it is that we express it, okay, in the class today. Next pattern we're going to do is basically a single leg squat, which is just a lunge. Okay, so top of the feet, okay, to drop down, I want you to get pressure on the inside edge of that heel. It's still both feet, lift from the top of the foot. Lift from the top of the foot. The heel that stays on the ground, get pressure on the inside edge. Feel how that just lets you fold up. Okay, now this time to lunge, instead of pressure on the inside edge, get pressure in the middle of the heel as you still do the action of the top of the foot, lifting up from the top of the feet. You feel how that sends the torso more forward. It's not coming from the knee, rotating forward first. It's the torso rotating over the thigh. So,
I felt like one of those bottle birds.
yes, totally. So that is an option. The last option is if you're wanting to stay more vertical with your torso on this lunge, pressure needs to get to the outside of the heel, and that will rotate your thigh backwards. Pressure to the outside edge of the heel. Some of you aren't going to like the feel of that because the torso falls and you're not comfortable with falling yet. You will bias more inside edge of the heel because it lets you mitigate the fall a little bit, which is fine, okay? But can you see that if that's the case and then you're trying to push your torso up to stay tall, you're just fighting yourself and you're just going to put extra tension into the system. So do the one that has you feel safe and secure and groove it. And then you might do a couple where you're like, let's just try one on the outside edge of the heel. But then you're going to have to pressurize the back leg on the inside edge of the heel, even though that heel's in the air, in order for it to work out in the front and back leg. Okay? So some form of a lunge, load it up the way you want to load it up. But this action of the top of the feet and pressurizing the inside, middle, or outside edge of the heel. Okay?